Are you a digital business owner, such as a e-commerce, a SaaS, an agency, a software business, an affiliate website, or anything that's digital, and you are struggling to grow right now? You've thought in the back of your mind, you've had this vision of potentially selling your business one day, but you don't know how to do that, or you don't even know if your business is sellable. But you're going to want to pay special attention to this video because I'm going to share with you some data, which will give you some context and then share some additional insights on what you need to do to put your business on the right trajectory. So if you do want to sell one day, you're going to be in a better position to get the most money. And I say this because now I'm doing M&A advising and helping business owners actually sell their assets. And I'm also helping digital business owners scale their business so they can put themselves in a better position to get the most money if they ever go to sell. But it's sad because I see time and time again, business owners are not doing some basic things that's really costing them a lot of money. When it comes to closing, they're going to have less money in their pocket. And if you're any business owner, especially you're putting in all this work, all the stress that goes with it, all the different balls that you're juggling in the air, and you just don't know if you're on the right track, rest assured that at least if you have a digital business that you do have revenue coming in and there is some growth, that you have the potential. There's no guarantee, but you have the potential to sell that business one day. And the better you have things tightened up and buttoned up and are moving in the right direction, you're just going to increase your odds of potentially selling one day. But it's interesting as I'm in the trenches, I get to see all these different trends that are out there and I get to see behind the scenes of all these different businesses. So I see the financials and I see the business model, what they're doing to grow the business and then how the business operates enough. And so it's given me a unique perspective because I grew an e-commerce business from just an idea at dinner one night. I grew it to do over 7 figures. And so I know firsthand the trials and challenges it is to get traction, to get momentum, to get sales coming in, having consistent sales, and then growing that business over a period of time. And then getting to a spot where you're actually having that thought in your mind saying, maybe I should sell this. Or even if I don't want to sell today, I want to put it in the best position. So when I'm ready to sell, or if I ever decide to sell, I will be able to get the most money for the business. And it's unfortunate because as I'm working with these business owners, a lot of times they're not thinking this way. And then something happens either in their life or in their business, and they have to sell, and they're more of in a defensive position. And so it really puts them in a really the wrong spot. And so they end up having to lower the price. And then because they don't have consistent growth, it also puts them in a negative context where they end up getting less money for it. So that's the really unfortunate reality to it. Now, one of the things a lot of people also don't realize, there's two things. First, they don't even know if they could sell it. Is it even possible? The good news is it's 100% possible. And I'm going to share some websites here, or a website which has some details on how many businesses sell on their platform. But it's pretty indicative to what you're seeing across other platforms as I've worked with some of these other platforms. Basically, there are these online platforms where you can actually put your business asset up to sell. And obviously the size and the revenue that you're doing is going to dictate the success you're going to have behind the scenes, especially if you're a small business with less than 10 employees and you're doing less than $1 million a year. You've got a lot of moving parts that you're juggling, or even if you're over $1 million, if you're less than $5 million in revenue, there's a lot of balls in the air. And at that point, you're probably still less than 10 employees. You may be a little bit more depending upon what your business model is. But even then, there's a lot of things moving. And so ideally, you want to be turning the revenue from a trajectory of a nice growth pattern. And when you're doing that, that's going to get you the most money. But one of the things that I come across is after people realize, or I share with them, they could sell this one day. And then I share with them how many businesses actually sell. What's interesting is people really have no idea how many businesses actually sell. And the reality is, or the number may shock you. Now, this is a website here called Biz Buy Sell. It's just one of many platforms that are out there where they actually do a report every year in terms of the amount of businesses for sale. Now, this does include, as a caveat, brick and mortar businesses, such as local businesses like a HVAC business, a plumbing business, an electrical business. So you're going to get a combination of those brick and mortar businesses, as well as digital businesses. A lot of digital businesses will also be listed here. But that being said, it's just a data point for us to try to use as a benchmark. And it's really fascinating to see that in 2023, they said a total of 9,093 businesses that reported sold being on Biz Buy Sell. What they mean by that is that a business owner listed the business for sale on Biz Buy Sell, and then it was sold. Now, whether it's sold on this specific platform or not is not the point. If it's sold off of the business or off of this platform, such as a personal relationship where the business owner hired an advisor and they found a buyer outside of this platform, that really doesn't matter. That the business owner will then go back and mark it as sold. And so this is where this number of 9,093 comes from. But what people don't realize is, and you'll see this, they break it out by quarter, and this goes back in 2017, 18, 19, 20. You'll see the dip here for the pandemic, obviously, in Q2, which is really when the pandemic hit, was really just kind of getting on board. But now we're seeing kind of back to normals. But if you look here, even the last year, 2023, it's definitely lower than it was in 2017, 18, and even 19, and then parts of late 2021 and early 2022. But it's starting to pick back up because as you look here, this is another website called the Financial News, where they're saying deal making fees are jumping by 21% in the first quarter. Now, as of the filming of this video, we're not even through the first quarter. This was listed as March 18th in terms of when this report came out. But it says the M&A volumes have jumped by 45% compared to 2023. So the point of this is that the sign is there that deal making is starting to pick back up, and we should see this correlate down to the businesses that are on Biz Buy Sell. Now, again, they're not the same. Those are typically larger businesses they're looking at, but that's typically indicative of the market in general in terms of businesses that are selling. So when you look here, and again, this is just a graphical representation of the amount of businesses sold. But then when you scroll down, you wonder, well, how many businesses are listed for sale? You have to scroll to the very bottom here. And it talks about this insight report. Well, it says right here, this is Biz Buy Sell analyzes sales data, businesses across the United States only, by the way, of approximately 50,000 businesses for sale and those that also sold. So right there is the paragraph where it talks about the amount of businesses that actually sold versus the number that are listed. Now, this is just listed on Biz Buy Sell. There are other platforms out there where a business may not be listed for sale, but on their specific platform, they're saying 9,093 businesses sold in 2023, whether it's sold on Biz Buy Sell or not. And there's about 50,000 that they had listed on their website. If you do the math on that, that's about 18%, just over 18%. That's not a lot of businesses that actually get sold. And that's really unfortunate. So what happens with those businesses that are listed on Biz Buy Sell? Typically those doors just end up closing. They shut the business down because they could not grow the business consistently. Something happened to the business, and there's a variety of reasons around this. Could have been the marketplace that they're dealing with, or something happened to the business, lost key employees, whatever that is. Owner passes away, partnership or a situation in there, they left key employees, left. Again, it's just, there's so many reasons why, but typically those businesses end up shutting down. And it's really unfortunate because they could not find a buyer. And now that I'm working in the digital capacity where I'm helping these, again, e-commerce, SaaS, software agencies try to find buyers for their businesses, I see the same patterns where they're not doing this consistent growth. Either it's flat or it might even be declining, or if there is growth, it's just not a whole lot. And that's just because there's just so many moving parts in that business. And so if you are a business that is struggling to grow right now and you're just not sure what to do, you really need to start thinking about how you can put together pieces and have a growth trajectory in your business. So if you ever choose to sell, you can put yourself in a position where your chances increase much higher. And I can tell you from being behind the scenes that if you have a nice growth rate and you're doing some typical marketing tactics that work, you could actually put your business in that position. But the challenge that I see, or the issue I see again, over and over and over again, is that business owners are so stuck in the weeds and they got so many fires they're putting out that they're missing some great opportunities right in front of them where they could grow the business and have that. And think about that. If you have more revenue coming in, it's going to lead to more profit. It's going to take a lot of the stress off you that you're struggling with right now. Because if you've got a business that it's actually generating revenue and it's got leads, consistent leads coming in, and then therefore sales, and you're doing some type of marketing to get those leads and those sales, you're doing some type of marketing, ideally paid marketing, you're going to be in a position to be able to sell that one day if you start tightening some things up. And those are the businesses that I really can step in and help. I love it when I talk to business owners and I can get a fresh set of eyes for them because we're so in the weeds. I just talked with a client the other day where she said to me, she's so close that she wasn't sure if she was on track, and just, she wanted to make sure that she was doing the right things because we've been working together for a while. And then we hadn't for a couple of months, but she came back and I just assured her that you're doing all the right stuff. As a matter of fact, you can be a bit more aggressive because you're doing all those right things. So last year we set her up on a plan to start moving that needle in that direction. And now she's been running with it for a few months. And so she came back and said, am I still doing the right stuff? And I assured her that you're doing the right things. But to her credit, she reached out and sought my advice in making sure that she's doing the things that'll keep her business growing. She's not ready to sell yet, and that's fine, but she will be at some play or some time period down the road. And at that point in time, she's going to be in a much better position to get the most amount of money for her business at that point in time. So if that sounds like you, where you have a digital business, such as an e-commerce, a SaaS, a software, an agency, anything that's digital, and you have leads coming in, you have sales that you're generating, so you have revenue in your business, and you're running paid traffic, you're doing some type of marketing activity to generate that sales and that profit, but you're struggling to grow right now, go ahead and click the button or the link somewhere on this video and set up a time to chat. And I give you a fresh set of eyes on where you may be stuck or where you may be missing opportunities. Because I can tell you in every one of these calls I have, I see opportunities plain as day to me, but the business owner just can't see it because they're so in the weeds. And either you're doing okay, you just want some assurance, or you're just really struggling with your growth. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and click the button or the link somewhere on this video and set up a time to chat. We'll get you moving in the right direction. So if you ever want to sell your business, you can give yourself a higher chance of succeeding in that area. All right. Thanks.